right, so I was out here pruning, and it's been raining, of course, but sun's starting to come out, and I think it's easy for us, when you're looking at things from the outside, and you're like, this looks good. It's all bushy, or it's gonna create a whole bunch of, tomato. And if any of you know about tomato plants, you already know that is not true. Yeah, it will produce tomatoes, but it could take longer for you to produce tomatoes. It could take longer for it to get nice and ripe or really big because it's sharing its energy, it's putting its energy in all these different places. And this is similar to our lives. We're busy, we're doing this, we're doing that. Maybe we've been busy for the Lord. Oh, I'm starting this ministry and I'm doing this, but here it is, we're neglecting the very soil that we are coming out of. We neglect our own families, we neglect spending time with them, we neglect praying more, we neglect reading the Bible, we neglect encouraging our own friends because maybe we've lost hope for them. It's easier, or family members. It's easier to tell a stranger, yeah, you should be praying, you should be doing this. Oh, God's going to do this in your life. Or, you need to pray more so, He can bless you or change your life. We need to start right where we're planted, right here. And a lot of times, even with this bushiness of the tomato plant, we have to get pruned, and it's not something we're going to like. Again, pruning is not a bad thing, but I think when you're looking at it up close and you're like, oh, that's about to get snipped. But you don't realize that those particular places that are being snipped are the exact places that need to be cut in your life. So when you're stepping back and when God starts to reveal to you more and more what's really going on and why he's doing it, and a lot of times, he may not even show you why he's doing it. But when you really start to step back and start to see some of the things he's doing as time goes on, you'll be like, whoa, this whole time he was doing that for my good. He was getting rid of this person out of my life for my own good. He was moving my friends out of my way because you know what? I treated them like they were God. Instead of, coming to him first, I was running to them first. You know, maybe he's preparing me to learn how to be a good wife to my husband because you know what? I need to run to him first. Just like I would run to my husband first instead of running to my friends first to tell them all my problems. And a lot of times we think that, oh, if I do all this, I'm bound to be successful. I'm bound to have, more fruit. But that's not the way how I'm noticing that things are really, designed in a way, I guess you can say. But who am I? I'm just a human being. I'm not God. At the end of the day, I can't say how he works, but I would say this. He wants us to produce more fruit. He doesn't want us to grow small tomatoes. He wants us to produce more in our life. So just because it looks like our life is busy and bushy doesn't mean that it's going to produce large fruit. That's where pruning comes in place. And that's where, God pruning us comes in place. And pruning is not a bad thing. Anyway, initially I was looking at it as it was something bad. And I was like, oh, I don't want to have to prune it, I don't want to have to cut back and take things off. But suppose that works out. But suppose, that very thing I stopped doing is what is gonna, change my life. Listen, God pruning back things in your life is not a bad thing. You have to cut back some of the things. Otherwise you will be here, you'll be there, you'll be here, you'll be here, you'll be here and everywhere. And you won't be able to concentrate and focus on putting your energy in one place to produce something bigger, something more. Even down to here, this bush in particular, this is its style. It's a bushy, determinant plant. Versus you have some other friends over here that are more the indeterminate variety, where you know what, they're meant to grow tall and lanky and keep growing up and up and up. We're all different. And I think a lot of times if we're staring at social media, we're staring at other people's lives and only the good things that they post, we start thinking that, you know what, I need to be doing the same thing so my life can look like that too. It's great to look at other people's lives for inspiration, but it's not to take it and to clone it. Because God has his own particular plan for you to fulfill your end and what you're supposed to be doing in your life and why, the very reason he made you for. Like, look at that. Beautiful and big. So let God do the pruning. Because a lot of times that very pruning is what you need. You think all these friends in your life is exactly what you need. But no, sometimes God removes people out of your life and you may not understand why. Maybe, you don't have parents. Maybe your parents died early. Or maybe, you were adopted. You don't know that the very place you're supposed to be is going to give strength to somebody else. It's going to give them strength for their situation. But you have to experience it so you will know exactly where they are in their life and you'll be able to relate because they need you at that very moment. And God's using you for that very purpose. But if you don't allow Him to prune you and for you to go through the quote unquote painful situations of being cut and being shaped in a certain way, you'll miss God's big picture for your life. Not your picture, but God's picture for your life. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that because I think a lot of times when we just think about being cut here, we just think it's the worst thing ever and how we're going to ever come back from that. And no, I think the whole entire point in all of this is God is showing us how to trust Him. We can't trust Him when things are all gravy. That's not really trust. That's like just black. That's bathing in His blessing. That's bathing in His favor. But when things don't turn out the way we thought they were going to turn out, that's when we need to really depend and lean on Him more. Leaning on Him like we lean on these strings and on these posts that I have here for support. So these tomato plants don't fall to the ground because they're not meant to really grow up. They usually grow down on the ground. But they need support, and that support is from God. And that's when we got to lean on Him. And I think everybody should grow some kind of fruit or some kind of vegetable that's going to produce something in their garden so you can feel the growing pains, if you will, and see how much it relates to your very own life. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all then.